The guide is a task that many people avoid, not just because it's a difficult task, but also because it takes a lot of time to do and it can be pretty boring. For those that have never tried it, the guide requires you to survive every map without a death. Run-throughs won't reset you, but a death will. So what this means is that even if you make it through 9 of the 10 maps and you die, you have to start all over again and reset. Now this used to be pretty straightforward for me, something I've done every wipe up to this point. I'd go labs first, then factory, then just work my way through the map by map based on my preference. Most of the time I'd just sit for 7 minutes, then extract. Pretty boring and uneventful. Well, this wipe, I decided to do something new using the transits. And yes, the transits do count for survives. They allowed me to move across the map a little faster on the map to map, so because you don't have to wait 7 minutes, transits only require 1. And on top of that, it provides another option for extracting that you don't always have, so you do not have to worry about crossing an entire map and maybe running into players and risking dying. So with this new system, I decided to go ground for 0 first and get that out of the way. Where do I go from here? I don't even know how to get around. Ground 0 well, dude. Like, everybody's super ratty on the map. And like, rightfully so, right? Bye. God, I'm just sprinting for this, hoping that there's no players here. PK flares off right as I get here. Now, with ground 0 out of the way, it was time to go to labs with the hope of transitioning to factory. Then maybe another transit from there to just get another clean extract. BattleEye doesn't seem to do nothing against cheaters. What makes you say that? Because you run into cheaters? A long time ago, I read an article where EAC is way smarter than BattleEye. Yes and no. It's kind of complex, and it's conditionally based, basically. So it kind of depends on what scenario, what game you're looking at. Isn't this where you transit? How do you transit? Isn't this the transit for factory? Where's the transit for factory? Oh, you can't go to factory from labs, can you? Or labs from factory from labs. I forgot about that. You're right. I forgot that it was a one-way. Well, I don't want to hit this until we get close. I don't want anybody to know we're down here. One of the biggest problems, Magnitude, with using an in-game review system is that Tarkov's desync and stuff is so bad that you have no idea. Even if you're watching it in some kind of God mode, you're just watching what the server sees. That isn't what the player sees. That isn't what the player playing sees. So you can never be 100% sure. And I don't think you guys realize how much manpower it takes to review raids. Like, I don't think you guys have understood that. A lot of people don't get exactly how much manpower it takes to review a sizable number of the player base, which is probably BSG's biggest struggle with getting through banning accounts on the flea market. You feel like there are people who would volunteer their time. You can't take people from the community, Magnitude. You can't. That's been proven time and time again. People will ban, like, they will abuse their power 100% of the time. Streamers do it, regular gamers do it, because they have nothing to lose. You don't think any streamer should have a number they can text in-game to have someone banned, even if it's a flying cheater? Why not? Why should streamers not be utilized by BSG to get rid of obviously cheating accounts as fast as possible so that they can't fuck with other players' time. Why should you let that cheater fuck with other people before you ban them? Streamers shouldn't have the say on banning somebody, but there's nothing wrong with having a Discord where cheaters can post clips or streamers can post clips when there's not a risk of a false ban, dude. If a streamer can share a raid, a clip, and BSG reviews it, which is what they do, there's not a false ban there. We're not talking about, oh my God, this guy killed me and it looks sus. We're talking about people that target streamers or people that are rage cheating to the nth degree. Too many issues with people killing a streamer than getting banned? No, there's not, Jay Murrow. There really isn't, dude. There's a couple of fringe cases, all of which have been dealt with specifically because they were done incorrectly. The most famous one is Rengar, whatever. That isn't how the anti-cheat is handled. That's not how the Discord is handled anymore. I bet you money the vast majority of people that get reported in that Discord don't even get banned because the streamers are too lazy to put all the information in they're supposed to. BSG has very specific criteria in that streamer Discord for how you're supposed to share information. And the vast majority of things that get posted in there don't follow the directions. Why shouldn't regular players get the same option? Regular players don't record their streams. Regular players don't get targeted. And it's a numbers game, Sammy. You're saying that BSG shouldn't do anything. Like right now, you guys are arguing that BSG shouldn't do anything extra because you don't like streamers getting special privilege. So they shouldn't pay more attention when they get targeted and they find cheaters and they have video proof of it and they play way more. So they run into way more. Because you don't like that streamers are special. For me, I had it in my head that transits are a two-way street. I had totally forgot that the only transit out of labs was 2 streets. And that was because Factory does have a transit into labs, but not one back. Now, also, just a quick note, if you haven't noticed yet, the conversations here are going to be a lot about cheating, at least for the start of the video. Doing the guide has a lot of downtime, and when I was streaming and chat wanted to talk about, this was the topic that came up. I've never really done any videos in this, but we talk a lot about it on stream, and I thought this might be a good chance to get this on video for people who want to see it and kind of get my take and my opinion on some of this. So there's a pretty good chunk in the video here, dialogue all around cheating, stuff that I've learned about, and just trying to share my knowledge with people in chat. AI base anti-cheat? AI anti-cheat is a meme. Just so you know. I wouldn't necessarily call it useless, but it's goddamn close. I have seen 0 indications of any kind of real success or meaningful impact that AI anti-cheat has had where it's being used. Though there were loop vacuums on Tarkov for a while, and they're technically still, well, I haven't looked this wipe. There is still a potential service for it, or there was, but it's expensive. It's not worth it. Do I know why Tweet quit streaming? I think BSG will ever truly get a handle on the cheaters. Let me put it in this context. Call of Duty, one of the most valuable and high budget shooters in the industry, can't get a handle on cheaters. Why would you have an expectation for BSG to be able to solve it? Okay, now this was my first use of the transits, and it ended up being a really good example of how to use it to skip crossing a map and get out of a map quickly. We ended up spawning right next to the transit to Streets, which meant that we got there right as a minute was up and got out of the raid in a minute. Though the street spawn ended up being a tough one for us and required us to hang around quite a while in raid to avoid a death there and losing our progress so far. Honestly, don't know where to go from here. I'm half tempted to go right back towards just transit back to Interchange. I don't know if you can see those scabs are already locked onto somebody right there. Your tinfoil hat conspiracy theories, BSG makes their money off selling multiple copies of the game to cheaters, so they're not interested and willing to crushing hackers anyway. Not true, Village Idiot. I've got a tweet, X post, a very long one explaining the huge flaws in your thinking with that, if you're interested in it. Kaban's going crazy up there. Yeah, we got goons, Ivan. We're doing the guide now. I've got to go to damaged house. Kind of hoping he has some food on him. He does not. Oh, he has that Aquamarine, though. I'll get us by. He's got a bullet in his head. Again, he's got a bullet in his head. I think it's a decal thing. I don't think I actually hit him in the head. I think that's a decal thing. A decal thing that... hit marker decals can be fucked up sometimes. Am I stating BSG is getting kickbacks? No, I'm arguing about the idea that BSG making money off of cheaters is just a very incorrect statement made on ignorance of a lot of factors. The statement is technically true. Does BSG make money off of people who cheat? Yes. The statement is technically true. Because people who cheat buy, like people who just like closet cheat and really hide their cheating, they buy legitimate games. They play for a long time and don't get caught. But the people who are rage cheating and burning through accounts do not buy they do not go and buy a $250 account, unheard account, and then fly around the map and aimbot everybody they see and get the account banned in a week. Been quite a while since I've had ban notifications. Yeah, and I've asked, and I'm not ever going to get an answer. I've asked BSG about this, but not everybody who gets banned results in cheater reports. I have theories on why it happens, but I don't know why that's the case. But most of the people that I report that I know get banned, I don't get a report. I don't get a confirmation report on. Curiosity, cheaters you talk to give a price about how much they paid their accounts for. Yeah, but it's constantly changing. It changes throughout the wipe. It changes from wipe to wipe. You can go look it up on many of the accounts, Village Idiot. You don't have to even depend. You don't have to even depend on what I say. Standard accounts can go from anywhere from $5 to $15. Well, $5 to $30, $35. Depending on the quality of the account you're buying. Unheard can go from anywhere from shit. You can get some unheard accounts for like 25, 30 bucks, all the way up to like 150. A reverse boosted EOD account is $259 right now. What's reverse boosted mean? Tanked stats? That's a good way to throw away $260. That's a really good way to throw away $260. I'll bet that account doesn't last a month after you buy it. Legit leveled up boosted EOD accounts. Go for $400-$500, if not more now. Yo, Cabana's still up. Stay away from the BTR roads. Who would buy those accounts? Rage cheaters that know the account's only going to last for a month. If your intent is to rage hack and just advertise your cheats, or just to be, you know, some people just cheat for fun, just to be shitheads and fuck with people, right? Those people will spend money on they'll buy those cheaper accounts. You know, a $5 standard account is going to last you a week to a month at most. You might get lucky and it might last longer, but it's not expected to last very long. That's why those accounts are so cheap. You don't get what you out of cheating in any games like this. It's the reasons for cheating are as varied as for the reasons that people play Tarkov legitimately, dude. Boosters, maybe Village Idiot. I've never talked to somebody who does carries that, well, I guess I have. I haven't. I've seen a couple of interviews of people that do carries that do buy accounts that only last a week or so, I guess. A lot of people cheat in Tarkov because the game is fucking hard. And so the why is different than the rationalization, right? There's two things going on. The why people cheat can vary from anything from basically skill issue, to being pissed off, whatever you want to come up with. The rationale for it, people rationalize for all sorts of ways, dude. People will straight up rationalize their cheating because everybody cheats in Tarkov, so I might as well cheat, right? I work 60 hours a week, and I just want to run my raids and not die to extract campers. I'm not hurting anybody, so I'm just going to download radar so I don't run into cheaters. Right? Yeah, the reasons are across the board, man, for justification. In order for you to have one cheater in every one of your raids, if you have one cheater, I'm not talking rage cheater, it could be somebody you don't even know is there. But for you to have one cheater in every single one of your raids, you only need between 5 and 8% of the player base cheating. If between 5 and 8% of the player base are cheating, you will have one cheater in every one of your raids, on average. Excluding outliers like labs and factory, because of their prevalence for cheaters or their smaller player size, their smaller map size, which means fewer players on the map. Okay, so now I pick Shoreline because it'll let me go from Shoreline and transit to Lighthouse, which are two maps I still need. And the transit's pretty easy and straightforward. And if we get lucky on Lighthouse, there's an option to go to Reserve, which is also another map we need. So that kind of depends on spawns. So now we go Lighthouse. And depending on where we spawn Lighthouse, we probably extract Lighthouse. I guess we could go Reserve. What are the Lighthouse spawns? Reserve, Shoreline. That's... Oh, Woods. Yeah, we go Reserve. Like, if we spawn... If we get the shitty spawn, we'll go Reserve. If not, we'll just extract it past the Shoreline after 7 minutes. Now, we got a really good spawn for transit to Lighthouse. Quick, and we got out. Had I spawned on the other side of the map on Shoreline, I probably would have gone for the car extract just to avoid having to cross the map. Oh no, I don't want to be here. Does League of Legends have cheaters? League of Legends has a fuckload of cheaters, dude. What? That's honestly a wild question. Magnitude. This is the best spawn? Not for me doing fucking the guide, it's not. What does a League of Legends cheat give you? A lot of it's macros. That was the biggest thing that they cracked down on, was macros. Scripting, yeah, scripting, macros, things like that. Which might not sound like that big of a deal, but with some champions, scripting is insane. Make the jump, dude. I hate when that happens. Was I in the extract? That's a run through. It wasn't a run through? That's interesting. So if you're transitioning, your XP builds up enough to where you can just transit, you can extract right away. That's wild, dude. Oh, that's so broken. Genuine question, why wouldn't you try and play the guide as BSG intended to? How can you be proud of Prestige when cheesing it? What the fuck are you talking about, Jerome? You all right, man? I am absolutely not cheesing the guide right now. No, chat, this is what's called a troll. This is somebody who just wants to try to rile me or you guys up for attention. Because nobody in their right mind thinks that the guide is supposed to be the true spirit of the guide is to play every raid and fight players. The guide is literally a task that you go in, you waited 7 minutes, you extracted to the next map. Transit added a whole new mechanic to the game, and BSG didn't change the way the guide works, and they haven't modified it, so... So, for example, we're just going to sit here and wait for 7 minutes. So, Jerome, we're going to do it in the spirit of Tarkov, just for you, man. We're going to do this according to you, how BSG intended. We're going to sit here and wait for 7 minutes and then extract. The way BSG intended. You know not everybody is trying to troll or deceive you. No, I do know that, Jerome. I was giving you the benefit of the doubt that there was no way you're stupid enough to actually believe a statement like that. Like, me saying you're trolling was me giving you the benefit of the doubt. if you didn't understand that. On top of that, there's a whole nother task that is like this that does require you to kill players. Yeah, I'm playing how BSG intended. Thank you, Aleutians. I was being criticized for using transits. I've used transits for like half of my survives now, Gigabeef, and was getting criticized because I'm not doing the guide I'm cheesing it, and I'm not doing the guide how BSG intended, so I can't be proud of prestiging because I cheesed it. So we're doing this raid the way BSG intended by sitting around and waiting for 7 minutes to extract. Oh yeah, so have I, Tatsu. I've had that happen too. The last thing going through my mind was that I got ran over by the BTR. That was a lot, because there's like a 10-second window where that could have actually have happened. Here I have one spawn to deal with. And it is kind of a pain in the ass spawn to deal with too. Because people that spawn there can go 2 or 3 different directions. Or just sit as well. So this spawn could have run out. To check for mark room. He could be sitting in there. He could have run up in the tower. Or he could be headed the same direction I'm headed right now. Oh, they moved it. I forgot. This is the Koravad. It's a secret extract now. Sorry, nah, not the Koravad, the secret extract. Sorry, chat. I was looking at the game, not you guys. I know you tried to tell me, but I was more focused on the game and the player that I might run into than I was chat. Not so many hours on reserve. That used to be the Woods Transit Carbo, and I just looked at the map. I looked on the wiki, has it listed there because Reamer hasn't had a chance to update the map yet, so. Still on the map. Interesting. I'm actually kind of worried about running into that other spawn. Where's the best place to get a VPX except labs? Lighthouse and reserve. I think I found a VPX on Streets this wipe. I don't remember if it was Streets or not. I think I did. Yeah, Cultist Circle. Your Cultist Circle, I always forget to tell people that. Like, doing the correct recipe on the Cultist Circle is also a really good way to get items you need. Didn't expect to see. I thought that was a player. Didn't expect to see a scab right there.
Thank goodness the invisible BTR isn't required for prestige.
Yeah, the sucky part is, you're right, Volatar, thank you for the 2 months, dude. The biggest thing that sucks, though, is I'm 2 tasks from getting the BTR achievement, and I can't do them. Because the BTR is invisible. Run away. Run away. We won't be getting run over by the BTR because I will be running on the side of the road. Well, Customs is the last map, and I'm trying to decide what we do about it. Because believe it or not, Customs is actually a really difficult map. One of the more difficult ones for the guide, in my opinion. The goons are on Customs right now, too. Yeah, the goons make it a little bit more difficult. Because we could go, it depends on where we spawn on Customs. Right? Kind of how you want to play it. Because if you spawn Big Red, you're kind of... And Interchange isn't a good transit because there's no good extracts. Like, it's one of the worst spawns to have on Interchange. And if we spawn here, we could go to Reserve, and this will put us near Red Rebel. Or we go Shoreline, but again, this means you have to cross Shoreline. And if you spawn over here, it's like, oh my god, get away as fast as you can, because everybody and their mother is going to be rushing this part of the map to get to the goons. It's time to Alt F4 cheese like BSG intended. The thought is crossing my mind. I ain't gonna lie, the thought is crossing my mind. I'm not gonna do all this work and then cheese it then, though. There is no shame. Yeah, there is. There's a lot of shame. Plus, if I do it, that means I can't shame others who'd have done it. Well, here's the problem with, well, here's the challenge, right? We've got to transit. Customs is a linear map like Lighthouse, and you've got to transit it to get to your extracts, with the exception of the green flare, which is not a good option because of the goons. The goons can literally kill you the entire way to the extract. There's no cover. So that's just a bad idea. If we spawned here, I could theoretically hit power, run to fort, and wait 7 minutes to take out ZB13. Not ideal. 7 minutes for car. Or you transit. We transit factory, we transit interchange, we transit, and then we survive the next map and extract on the next map. So is it... Because Shoreline, Sniper Roadblock, this is going to put us over by farm, which we could run to the car and just take the car real quick. Reserve puts us down by, I believe we'll spawn somewhere near either Dome or Manhole, so we could take that. Again, yeah, we go factory, but this puts us in that outside spawn. Oh, isn't there? There's a normal extract out there, isn't it? That might be the... Well, factory might be a good play. Interchange is a terrible thing. Like, if I spawn over here, I'm going to take the interchange transit, just because spawning over here is miserable. Nowhere to go. Like, I could loop around and cross and then take the transit to Shoreline, but... Would be a shame if your kids went rogue and pressed buttons on your keyboard out of nowhere. No, we're not going to do it, chat. I could cheese it. And to be honest with you, I probably, like any smart person right now, would cheese it. Because it's literally the last map. And we're done. But I refuse to fucking cheese games, dude. Yeah.
Hello, chatty chatter.
Plus, for as much shit as I give my kids for cheating in Minecraft, I can't cheat with them sitting right here, right? What kind of a role model am I?
Yeah, that is true. In Minecraft, you can't be talking. Well, we're not really cheating unless we turn on cheats.
I give them a hard time. When they use creative mode to build stuff, they'll play survival and then use creative mode to do things. I say they're cheating because they are.
It's just building things and getting blocks we don't have access to. Not like diamonds and ores and stuff, but like more wood and different kinds of. Not like the rare stuff, but still. And we use it to build. We just use it to build most of the time. You guys can't blame me or lose. Thank you very much.
Cheater logic? Yep. Sure is.
Hey, it's not cheater logic. Free elytra. If I want to go flying around on a elytra, I just get one and then trash it when I'm done. Like these, Dad. You're better than this.
Did you say chat's better than this?
Yeah.
They definitely are not.
Now you guys gotta be yelling at my dad. Not me. Oh my.
Well, it's not GG's yet. I still got to survive Shoreline. We still got to survive Shoreline, chat.
Cat.
Why am I here? I don't want to be here. Quiet.
Bye.
Oh, that's a dead end. Liberty, stop. Stop. Serious. Those scavs were incredibly unfortunate for me. My gosh, butthole is puckered.
Someone called me a douche after I did it.
Let me out, 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 let me out. Oh my god. Ah. I gave you guys a good show at the end at least. Holy shit.